Hey friends, I have been a very bad professor today. What I was supposed to do is start grading all the final assignments from my class and calculate the final grades. It was going to be something that would take most of the day, but I'd be done with it. That was the plan. Then yesterday, I got a message from CaliberWorks. CaliberWorks is a watch repair outfit in Minneapolis. I've given them an old watch I had to be fixed up, and they've had it for about 18 months. And yesterday they tell me, hey, it's finally ready. And I was so excited I had to drive all the way to Minneapolis and back today. I just got back like half an hour ago. So that kind of ate up my day. Yeah. Okay, you might be wondering why. Why was I so distressed, so important, so quick to jump out and abandon my work and go get my watch? This is the watch here. It's an old pocket watch. It's an Elgin 24-hour watch, manufactured in like 1908. And I wanted this fixed for such a long time. The story of this watch is that it was my great grandfather's watch. So he got this watch and hung on to it for years, passed it on to his son, my grandfather. My grandfather then said he would pass it on to me, but it kind of didn't happen. You may notice he skipped over his child because my mother was an only child and she happened to be a girl, and for some reason you don't pass on pocket watches to your daughters. I think I can break that rule myself. Okay. Anyway, so he passed it on to me, supposedly. But what happened was um, he hung on to it. I moved away. He and my grandmother died. And the watch got stuffed into a drawer or an old box or something and forgotten for many years. I just got it a couple of years ago myself. Uh, and yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. It kind of disappeared off the family map for some years. So we've this is 100-and-something-year-old watch, which is kind of cool. And it was owned by my great grandfather, who was a farmer in northern Minnesota. This is not a fancy watch. It's not an expensive watch. What it is a robust, solid, reliable old watch that a turn of the century dairy farmer could purchase and stuff into the pockets of his overalls and use that while he was working, and then wear it. It's also very pretty, so he could wear it to church on Sunday, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was a nice thing to have. And it has a nice history, a family history, so I was pleased to have this. So I sent it off to CaliberWorks in Minneapolis, and I told them there's no hurry because I'm not using this day to day. It's a family heirloom, and so take your time getting it fixed up. And when I get it back, I'll just put it on a shelf somewhere a little safer than it's been for the last few years. Yeah, because for the last few years it's been banging around in an old box somewhere. And when I got it, the watch crystal was smashed, and one of the hands was broken off. It's got a few dents and dings in it, so it needed some touch up. However, still, when I got it, this is just a couple of years ago, I got it, I wound it up, and I held it to my ear, and it ticks. It works just beautifully. So there we are, a 1908 watch, which makes it, what, 119 years old and still functional. I like that. That's a good, solid instrument. So I was quite pleased to get this finally fixed up. But I did have to run into Minneapolis to pick it up and bring it back. And I will take good care of it and eventually pass it on to my children or my grandchildren or something. And it will be intact when they get it. That's the plan. So anyway, like I said, I just told the people at CaliberWorks, yeah, I'm gonna file this away and preserve it, and we didn't have to worry about keeping it, tip top running shape for the next 10, 20, 30 years, however much longer I live. We just needed to be presentable and look good. That's what I said. And then I started driving home with it and started thinking. And I realized, hey, this watch, it's much smaller and it doesn't weigh as much as my iPhone. And I also noticed, hey, look here, it fits into your hand beautifully. It's just perfect. It's very comfortable. It's nice and curvy. It's a beautiful little watch. And then halfway home, my iPhone battery died. And I realized, hey, I'd never have to worry about the battery dying on this one. I just wind it up. And what's more, you wind it up once a month and it's good for an entire month. Whoa, what a beautiful, elegant piece of work. And then I realized, yeah, you hold this and you just pick it up and you can see the time instantly. There's no fumbling around with buttons or tapping on the screen or anything like that. It's always right there. That's pretty cool. Also, I realized this is a machine that held up for more than a century. Okay. You think this thing will last 10 years? 20 years? I know it's not going to be lasting a century, but this one is just keeps ticking indefinitely. It's wonderful that way. Furthermore, I have the right to repair this. I just did it. I just took it into a qualified watchmaker and left it with them, and they patched it up, cleaned it up, got it running beautifully. If this thing breaks, what then? I have no right to repair this. I began to realize this is a pretty good deal. Also, it looks cool. I've got a nice little watch fob over there. I should hook it up to this and put it in my jacket pocket, and it's right there whenever I need to see the time. I just pull this out and look like a classical scholar or something. So I was kind of pleased with this. So as I was driving home, I was thinking, this is a pretty good watch. Maybe I should just keep it. Maybe I should carry it all the time. Yeah, it's mine. You're not taking this away from me. I'm keeping this. It's mine. My precious.
delicious.